few. Okay. That's going to be, woof! You have to put them to do laundry. That's the new hobby for your children, laundry. And dishes, yes, laundry, dishes, all of that. They can make a mean peanut butter and jelly. Um, all right, what else? What other questions? What questions do you have for your fellow learners or your
Bright
cohort?
lights and almost.
Any questions? Okay. How many people have attempted nursing school before? A few. Okay. Yeah, and then you can raise your hand. It's okay. Yay! Welcome back. Should be, different nursing school. How many are working in healthcare now? Pretty much everybody. CNAs, raise your hands. Thank you for everything you do, guys. It is, wow. And not getting paid for it either. It's a tough thing. Vocational nurses. Wow, that's many. Yeah. You guys still need to learn some things. Yeah, this is not just like, oh, I'm going to check the box and get a paper. I'm already there. I've arrived. This is just a formality. It's not just a formality. You have to learn stuff to expand your scope. Other questions? What other questions do I have? Anything? Who is? Oh, go ahead.
Other college degrees.
Yeah, previous
education.
Is this bachelor's? Previous bachelor's. Accounting? A few, yay! How did I know?
There are always a few accountants.
Okay. Yes. What else? Associate degrees, previous associate degrees. Okay, quite a few. Now I forgot my question. You go ahead with yours, I'm going to think. Go for it.
You still might have a batch of questions.
Oh. I build you as a teacher.
Yes,
They
I
always
usually prepare before doing
They always have questions. It's like on the spot,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, thinking on your feet.
How many of you have pets?
Oh wow.
How many
Yeah.
dogs?
Dogs. Children's responsibility now.
And how many are cats? Good, they can take care of themselves.
Yeah. No children are needed.
That's right. Just leave them alone.
All right. Very good. What?
You did have a question.
I did have a question. I completely got question. It's there somewhere. It has something to do with something. I don't know. Yes. Oh, who's working full-time and going to school? I bet many. Many. It's a lot to juggle. That's why I'm saying laundry is not in your future. At all. It's either your mom or your kids. Yes.
What's next after BSN program?
The what? What?
What next after the BSN?
After the BSN for you? I don't know. Let's ask you. What is next?
What's the highest degree you can get after BSN?
That we offer Master of Science different tracks currently. One of them is the MSN-ED, which prepares educators, both on the clinical side and the education school side. And the other one is family nurse practitioner, which prepares general practitioners for family practice. So that's what we have now. In about a year or so, a little over a year, so in the summer of 2024, we're rolling out Psych NP, so the mental health and psychiatric nurse practitioner. So that's going to be coming, and that's going to be with all of the current bells and whistles, like, for example, using psychedelics assisted therapy which is kind of a very recent area of research in mental health, but it actually is very promising. It shows a lot of promise in terms of treating addiction, treating post-traumatic stress disorder, treating anxiety, treating depression. So it's kind of awesome.
So
Yes.
you guys are about to have that program? Or
We're going to start it in the summer of 2024.
And how long do you think that would take? Like if
How long that program's?
Yeah.
How long is FNP? It's probably similar.
About 2 years.
Yeah.
For
About-
BA or
The-
BA?
Master of Science in Nursing, nurse practitioner.
And for BA, I thought
We,
you said
we,
BA.
we don't have, no, we're solely focused on nursing education. And some doctorate level programs are in the stage of conception currently, so we may have those in the next couple of years or so.
Do you
Yes?
see yourself expanding outside of nursing in the future?
No, not the currently strategic direction doesn't have anything but nursing because there is so much to do in nursing and so much need in nursing. We are, and this is what we're really, really good at, and so we're very focused, very dedicated to the profession.
I got one for you.
Yes.
When are we getting locations in California?
When are we getting locations in California? Really good question. So, right, we have quite a few prospective partnerships throughout the state with healthcare employers. The holdup is the lovely regulatory mechanisms that you have here, and by lovely I mean not at all, here in the state. We're working with legislators in the California legislature currently, and we're working with the BRN and so on, and hoping to introduce a new legislation that will allow out-of-state schools to do on-ground clinical engagements in the state. The soonest, if all goes according to plan, the soonest that could happen will be January 1st of next year. So if we're successful in getting the legislation through your, but there's a lot of support. There is a lot of support actually on both Democrat side and Republican side. So there is hope. Now, when we are ready, when the legislation is introduced, we will come back to all of you in California and ask you to go and lobby your lawmakers that are your local people that you voted for or didn't vote for. It doesn't matter. You will have to go and we'll give you some tools on how to talk to them and how to convince them to vote in support of the bill. It certainly is very needed in this state. And the state on its own cannot support, the schools that exist here cannot support, for one reason or another, cannot support the demand that exists for nurses here. And as you know, California is toward the very bottom of the list in nurses per capita. It's the most populous state, and it doesn't have enough nurses to support this population. Yes?
Would you say California is one of the more difficult states you guys have to deal with?
From the regulatory standpoint, yes. Everybody has an opinion. that people make regulatory sort of decisions, many of those opinions are not evidence-based, and so, which is unfortunate, but you know, like you all, ever typed into, you know, Insta? It's like, that looks horrible. That's an opinion, right? Based on your own whatever, and it is not a fact. Yeah, so I wish everybody, I mean, all together in the government, people would follow evidence and rather than opinion-based regulation. Yes?
The program that's set to start in California next year projected, would that be under the same licensure that Nightingale has currently, or would that be a different licensure?
Which program are you talking about?
A baccalaureate program, sir.
Well, it's not, the program is not changing. The program exists now. This is what you're enrolled in. What we're after is allowing you, rather than traveling outside of the state, for your clinical placements, for clinical engagement, for your experiential, what we call them supervised on ground field experiences, and your integrative practicum at the end, instead of traveling somewhere else to be able to do it in California. That's what we're working on. The program isn't changing. The program is domiciled in the state of Utah.
Wait, so you guys, so even like us when we're in the program, because I know like when I used to go to like for my LVN and my associates and stuff, and like we would travel, if it like changes mid-curriculum and stuff, they would usually do it for the next class, not like the class is already starting. So
yeah, no,
even
as soon, if from the regulatory standpoint it's available, it's going to become available to you right away. As soon as that's in, and we'll have to start here in a minute, but yeah, go ahead. Last question.
Are we all BSN, or are we?
No, there's probably different. Any associates, learners? In this room, no. Any practical nurse, vocational nurse learners? Okay, so some of you just in that. That's great. So yeah, but we have PNVN, we have associates, and bachelors. So the vast majority in the college are enrolled in a bachelor's program. Anybody masters here? No, okay. Yes, hi. I do have masters, but not. Oh yeah, no, like enrolled in a master's. All right, so if you guys are ready to go, we are then ready to go, and we're gonna start the broadcast, and I'm gonna pass it for the glorious introduction to Sammy.
Mikhail Schneider is the president and CEO, board member, and a minority owner of Nightingale College, a Salt Lake City-based private post-secondary distance education institution dedicated to advancing geographic, demographic, and socioeconomic access to professional nursing education across the United States. A registered nurse for more than 25 years, Schneider has a wealth of management experience in post-secondary education for health professions and healthcare delivery services. He's a published academic author, conference speaker, and a guest lecturer specializing in strategic planning, accreditation, forecasting, organizational development, and leadership. Schneider holds an MBA degree from UC Berkeley's Haas School of Business. Please welcome Mikhail Schneider.
All right. Thank you, Sammy. Thank you, all of you, for the warm welcome. Those of you in the cyberspace, hello. Hello to all of you. We're coming. Oh, okay. I'm going to go back here and set my stuff back here because next to the electronics, always a good idea, right? Fluids around electronics and oh man, hi. How are you? Okay. So first thing is first. I am going to this announcement hasn't been widely yet made, and so all of you here and all of you in the cyberspace. You're kind of one of the first people to learn this. I will be stepping down as the college president. I will remain as the CEO of the company. I will be stepping down as a college president at the end of February after doing this job for 11 years, and 11 years is a long time for college presidency. And I would like to introduce Dr. Jeffrey Olson, who is going to be the second president of Nightingale College starting on March 1st. So yes, give Jeffrey a couple of words before I continue, or do you want to like hang around and then see?
I'll just say real fast as we're getting started here, thank you. Thank you to all of you who have made sacrifices to be here. For those in the room who have left children or rearranged work or made adjustments to be here. For those online, for making adjustments so that you could be present in this meeting, so that we can run through some orientation and welcome and give you kind of a prospectus of what you're going to anticipate here in the college. Thank you for rearranging your lives to make nursing a priority, as you're going to do over the next few years. Just thank you for choosing the profession, for being selfless in helping others, and considering this the next phase of the journey and becoming the best version of who you are.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I don't know. Hopefully online they heard all that. Okay. I'll jump in. I'll continue, and we're coming to you, those of you in cyberspace, from a very rainy central, California. Yay! And all these folks in the room braved this weather and hydroplaning cars to be here. So once again, I join with Jeffrey in saying thanks and welcome. There's about 900, a little over 900 new learners that are starting today across the country. 30 plus states, I forgot they sent me the exact number, but I forgot it. I think 33 or 36, something like that, represented. 2/3 are here in the most populous state of California. So yay, California. Leading the enrollment charge. Look, so yes, as Dr. Olson pointed out, we're going to run you through sort of setting the expectations for what this is going to be. Before we went online, I said this, look, even if you're a practical or vocational nurse now and have that license, there is still much to learn for you in order to be able to expand the scope of your practice. So learning is your #1 job for the next however many months, years it takes you. So please never forget that. My only job today, though, however, real job, is to talk you out of it. Talk you, and you let me know how I'm doing later, right? But I would like to absolutely talk you out of starting in the prospective programs that you're starting. In this room, we have the vast majority of folks are starting in the baccalaureate program, whether continuing as a PN or VN to bachelor's bridge. There is some people that are starting in the practical nursing program. We have LPN to LPN, LVN to associates enrolled as well, and a few masters for our family nurse practitioner and the education track. So widely represented, and again, my thing is to scare you enough, right, and give you enough of realistic preview of this that you go at the end of today, you go like, yeah, you know what? No, not for me, thanks. I'm gonna go back to accounting, right? And those of you who decide to do it, then I'll have a few words of wisdom and ask you to do a couple of things. But again, I am trying to talk you out of it because it is tough. Everybody understands, right, that the job itself is extremely difficult, extremely tough, right? So I'm seeing nods, yeah, and we'll interact. Yeah, words are better because they can hear you out in the cyberspace. So the job is tough. The selflessness that Dr. Olson referred to that is required of you is tremendous, tremendous. Putting your patient's well-being sometimes ahead of yours, which is not the greatest strategy. That's why one of the things we're going to talk about today is actually self-care before, and unless you're committing to self-care first, you're useless, You're not going to be really, really successful as a practitioner in nursing. And those of you who are already working in nursing, you know that. If you're not taking care of yourself, you're not going to be effective with your clients, with your patients. And this is where you are needed. Your skills are needed, your expertise is needed, your compassion is needed in that patient care. So start with you and then continue on to your patients. You hear the stories all the time, right? This morning, there is a news out of New York, one of the major healthcare systems in New York, where nurses are going on strike because there's not enough staff to support the patient that are there. I all for increasing the staffing levels and getting more people into the profession. But because the profession is so tough, once again, and through the pandemic, we have seen quite an exodus of practitioners out of the profession. So, like, I frankly don't understand why you want to do it, because it truly is tough. And until some systemic changes happen in the nation, and how we approach the profession altogether, and how the public policy works, and how the regulation works around the profession, and all of that, it is not going to become much better. So what we're trying, and really we're set to prepare you for, is a really tough practice environment, and where you have to, again, you have to be so good. You have to be so knowledgeable. You have to be so compassionate. You have to want to do this job so much that nothing else is really an option for you. Only then will you be successful as a practitioner and be able to push through all of the challenges that the profession has. Now, I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to pose a question to you. Why are you here? I mean, not here on Earth, like that you can ponder on your own time. Why are you here today? And I know, like the most obvious answer is like, well, you told us to be here, so we're here. I'm like, okay, besides that, why are you here? And this is where the participation starts, right? Those of you in the cyberspace, use your chat box. It somehow magically works, and everybody can see your answers, and it's going to go really, really fast. But here we're going to try to vocalize the answer. Why are you here? Yes?
I'm currently LVN here in California.
Yeah.
And after working as an LVN, I realized that I did want to expand my scope by furthering my education, getting my BSN, and eventually getting my master's. Being that Nightingale offers both, I figured I would do it because I want to be able to be more knowledgeable. And when I work with RNs and seeing their wealth of knowledge, I want to be able to provide that. And this is a lifelong career for me.
Awesome. So a lifelong career, already vocational nurse, would like to expand your scope, expand your knowledge, and be more effective in what you do. Fantastic. And then continue on after baccalaureate, continue on to master's. Awesome. So expansion of knowledge and to be more effective in patient care. Yes, please.
I think you took the words out of my mouth when you said nothing else is an option.
Nothing else is an option. So it's a passion thing, right? It's something that, and anybody else that it's a passion that you feel, and I'm like that as well. When it was time for me to decide what to do, I thought I wanted to be a doctor. But I was really, really attracted to nursing, so I went into nursing first, thinking, well, it's going to be a stepping stone. I'm going to decide what to do. And then after I did complete one semester of medical institute thing, school. And yeah, I was like, nope, nursing. Nursing is it, the compassion of it, the caring of it, the sort of the art of it, the science of it. There's so much to it that, yeah, for many of us, it's something that there's no other choice that we have. Other things, why are you here? Yes, in the back.
I kind of want to piggyback off of what she mentioned first.
Yeah, so being more effective, you individually being more effective with the clients, the patients that you work with, and offering more to them, being able to both educate likely your patients, right, and again be more effective in the providing of care. Other things, yes.
I started out on the other end of the spectrum. I
Yeah.
was in hospital administration HR.
Okay.
And as much as I enjoyed helping employees, that wasn't fulfilling.
Yeah.
And so I became an EMT.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
And then being an EMT, you get patient contact, but I don't get to help my patients.
Right.
So I wanted to go more clinical, and the
Awesome.
sky's the limit, really. So.
Yeah. So many opportunities in nursing, obviously, as a career choice, right? Because literally endless as far as what it is that you can do. Look at me. Yeah. Who could have ever imagined that this nurse is going to be running a company and building a college and being a college president and all of that. And so, yeah, there's definitely that. And it's a fulfilling thing. Again, when your heart is in it, when your skills are in it, when your knowledge is in it, it becomes really fulfilling. The opposite is true as well, right? The converse side of it is that it is when you do not have the knowledge, the requisite knowledge, when you do not have the requisite skills, not only that you're not helping, you can actively harm somebody, right? And that is, nobody wants that, right? Not the person, certainly not the person that you're taking care of, or their family, or friends, and so on. Not your colleagues, not anybody. So it is important to know your stuff, really. And how do you get there to knowing your stuff? Experience, well, that's good. Yeah, you learn, right? Like that's how we become better. You grow, you evolve, you develop professionally, individually, personally, right? This is what you must do in order to become the first example, the example of effective practitioner and not somebody who harms, right? So errors are inevitable, but there is, if you know your stuff, avoiding error becomes really, and making sure that you do not make those mistakes. It comes through. So other things. Why are you here? Yes.
I'm Filipino, so it's a given that you.
Right, you're a Filipino in California. It's like absolutely. There's nursing clans, Filipino nursing clans. I'm really convinced. Yes.
So it's either nursing or the post office.
Nursing probably more fulfilling. All right. Okay. So it's kind of my people. Many of my people are nurses, and therefore I'm gonna be one. Yeah.
I'm African, right? The Filipinos is the same thing with us.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Exactly. So nursing is it's a tradition, right? Within some cultures. Yes.
I'm currently an ER tech and a phlebotomist. I work at Sutter. I love my job. I don't necessarily love the money that it pays me, and as a nurse, I could make
somebody's
3 or 4
honest.
times. Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else wants better living? If you're not raising your hand, like, I don't know what you're doing here. Yeah. Hello. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, when you know your stuff, and then you go get licensed, and you get that next level of practitioner job, it certainly pays better than what you're making now, which then opens up all sorts of opportunities like Prada shoes and, right? Am I right? Perhaps your a new car, your own house, that you can actually afford, and things like that, right? So the financial aspect is important. So there is. Remember that, right? Yes.
As an LPN, it's like moving beyond the limitations of my license.
Right. So expanding the scope beyond the limitations of where you're now. And again, remember though, like learning has to like be part of it, and you're not quite there yet, and all of this. Frankly, I've dealt with some PNs, VNs that again, it's like, oh, I'm paying you the money, just give me the paper. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. You actually have to learn and then demonstrate that knowledge back, right? And demonstrate the skill back. I mean, it's not. By the way, this demonstration of skills and knowledge back, and that you have to show that you actually mastered something, that you have the requisite level of competency in this particular skill or this particular piece of knowledge. There are going to be exams. Yeah, there's going to be tests. And inevitably, even after I say this, one, two of you will write me, or Jeffrey, Dr. Olson, you'll send an email about a couple of semesters from now saying, I'm doing so wonderfully otherwise, I just cannot pass this test. Therefore, it's unfair. So, like, how about, like, wink, wink. How about, you just, like, look how wonderful I am. I'm really is amazing, right? And just, like, let it go. And the other person will be like, this is totally, why would I need standardized tests? There's totally, those of you who PNs, you know why. Because you take a huge standardized test at the end of it, after you graduating, and that standardized test is what stands between where you are now and the Prada shoes. Yeah? A must to pass. And your state, whether in California or Kansas, nobody's going to be like, sure, why not? You don't like it? Fantastic. We'll just give you the license. Yeah, because you've paid the money and got the paper. Yeah. And you, as a matter of fact, can get the paper with like, what is it, B- average. Yeah, I'm like 77% or something. Yeah, something like that in different classes. I don't know, like many details. You will know them. They're in the catalog, as a matter of fact. A lot of that stuff. You know how all of you have signed that thing, that disclaimer that says, I have read, understood, and will follow everything that's in this catalog. And I understand that there may be changes from time to time that I will have to follow as well. And show of hands, how many actually read? Wow, a few. Okay. This is better than expected. This show of hands. So those of you who just signed it, just because, it's another piece of legalese, I highly recommend that you go ahead and read the thing. Yeah? Because come Friday. Oh, by the way, I have good news for you. You can try it free of charge. Those of you who are, all of you are, new to Nightingale College. No tuition charges at all for the first 2 weeks. Yay! Whoop, whoop. Gives you the time to read the catalog. No tuition charges up front, you know what I mean? Like, we will charge you the tuition come 5:01 p.m. Friday next week. Anybody can pull up the date for me? Friday next week. What date will it be? The what?
January
19th? 20th. Okay. So you have until 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which means what in California? 4 p.m. your time. Those in Pennsylvania, they get like till 7 p.m. their time. They're like in a much better, thing. Okay. Until then, you can, get your class schedule, you can get into your courses, you can try it on for size, you can see whether it's working for you or not, you can read the catalog. Some of you, after reading the document, will go like, nope! I thought it would be better, or, oh, yeah, well, that policy doesn't make sense. Why don't they change it? It doesn't work for me. Guess what? We're not going to change it because it doesn't work for you. Yeah, it's going to remain there, and you'll have to live with it. So, again, for 2 weeks, almost, it's really like, how many, 12 days? Whatever it is. I'm like, math, Many of you are on that kind of like, oh, math, but why do I need math as a nurse? why are you torturing me with math and statistics and all of this? I will never, ever need it, ever, or use it, or whatever. Trust me, that is not true. You will absolutely everything in all of the courses that, general education courses, what do those do? Like,
The other ones.
yeah, they get you ready for the other ones, but also what do they do, GE courses? They improve your reasoning. They improve your decision making. They expand your horizon as a human being, right? Your understanding of your place in the world and how you can affect the world and how the world affects you and so on. So very, very important. And yes, some of you will have to change your mind. Yeah, that is part of learning. That is part of growth. That is part of evolving. That is part of becoming better, right? Growth mindset, one of the values. We'll talk about, that statement, the Valvitude statement in front of you that is there. We'll talk about it later. However, anyway, so however many days you have until that Friday, if you decide that this is not for you, which again, I hope you give it really, really, really good thought prior to that time, send us an email, right? It has to be in writing. You can send it to the registration management office. You can send it to your admissions advisor. You can send it to somebody in the college and say, hey, I tried it. No, I read the catalog now, or whatever your reason is, and this is not for me. And guess what? We will not charge you any tuition for this time, even if you're in the courses, whatever. There may be some fees if you start like opening packages and taking stuff out and, trying catheter on for size. I mean, I don't know. Some of you may be going into clinical courses right away, and especially those of you who are PNs. But no tuition. Again, until when you have? 20th, January. Yeah, 5 p.m. Mountain, right? Send us a thing, and then till then, try figuring it out. Now, if you decide to stay, guess what? There is an assignment. Your first assignment. Woo! Even without course schedule yet, some of you, right? Woo! First assignment coming from Mikhail. So by 5 p.m. on Friday the 20th, so you have to write something. Everybody is with me? Before Friday the 20th, you have to write something. And if you're staying around, here's what we would like you to do. You kind of get an electronic implement of your choice, with the keys, or maybe just, scribble if it can translate it into, typed things. And you tell us what we call, you describe the future vision of you. Yeah? And so this question, an important question in trying to write that, and it doesn't need to be a long essay. It can be, a paragraph or two long. The important question is why? That question that I asked. Why are you here? What do you see in your future, or in your right now, or in your past, that then will catapult you into this new version of yourself? Because trust me, if you do this right, you're not going to be the same person you are today. Everybody with me? It's like, what do you mean I'm amazing? Look at me and everything that I've accomplished already. Why would I need to change? My friends on Insta think I'm great. Yeah? Mm-hmm. My food even is amazing. Post. Okay. You will be a new version of you, a different version of you, a better version of you. So we would like you to describe that to us. What do you see? And like, please don't fill 2 paragraphs with Prada shoes, Prada shoes, Prada shoes, Prada shoes. Prada shoes, and a house. You can include that, absolutely, right? But then include other things, right? There's one reason that hasn't quite been, you haven't told me yet. And it may be there online, but not, you didn't quite have it here. So anything else that, why you're here? So improving your financial, yes?
Well, there's like a lot of reasons. I'm kind of like going off what she said, electrical, that's like
Yeah.
our culture.
Okay.
My parents are immigrants, and I'm actually an immigrant too, so it's really hard out there in the Philippines. So like I've seen it firsthand, like just how hard it is, especially like medically, especially if you're sick. And I've seen it with my parents too, so it's something I really wanted to do, and just to like help my family.
Yeah, so help out the family, right? Maybe some family back. If you're an immigrant, some family back where you come from. Yeah, you know, valid reasons. What else? What else? Yes.
So
here.
aside from like, I wanted nothing else. I love patient care. You'll always have job security with nursing.
Job security, absolutely, right? This is good. Not the one that I had in mind, but job security is good. Career choices are immense. Yes. Ma'am.
I have a daughter who's a junior, and I've been telling her you should look into nursing. So she goes, Mom, you're smart. How come you are not one?
Exactly. That is exactly what I was looking for. Setting a modeling example for my children. Anybody else in that? Yeah, I see you in the back, and it's like, I'll bring you to the orientation. And now you know you have to do laundry. And but yes, setting that example. I cannot tell you the tears of joy that flow at graduation ceremonies and pinning ceremonies, right? That where I mean, you will, if and when you graduate, you will bring your children to that, yeah? And they'll be looking at you and going, my parent is amazing to have accomplished this. And guess what? Nothing is going to be as powerful for your kids as setting that personal example for them. I can do it. If I can do it with all of the hardships that I have in my life, guess what? You can do it. You will be able to be a better version of you. You will be able to build your life and build a better life. What you are doing now, again, if you're successful, you're forever changing. This is generational change in the history of your family. You get that? You understand what that means? Nursing is one of the best socioeconomic mobility vehicles in this country. Not everywhere around the world, but certainly in the United States. And becoming a nurse, whether it's practical nurse to begin with, and then continuing on to registered nurse, continue on to master's and all of that, forever changes the history of your family. Intergenerational poverty that continues on and on and on and on in this country can be eradicated through your dedication to doing this. But it's tough. It's going to be sweat, blood, and tears. literally. Maybe not your blood. Oh no, I have to deal with blood? Can I just have a desk job? Maybe later. Sure. But for now, guess what? But the sweat and tears, definitely yours. But I'm an A student. I've always been so everything always comes easy to me. That's fantastic for you. This is not high school. There's no extra points. Not at all. Not at all. You have to earn it. You have to work at it and work hard at it to build the competence. So yes, those are. Anything else on that why question? Anything else you see as a vision of you? Yes?
Nursing is for life, so especially at the time of the pandemic, even people that had retired, they can come back and do something else. It might not be the patient care, it might be in education, it might be case management.
Yes.
So there's always something, once you still remember your skills and you can still walk and talk, you can continue working.
Absolutely, yes. And nurses do work into like their 80s. You know, they should like do that self-care thing, right? Many of us forget about it, that at a certain point, just, you know, it's okay to take care of you and it's okay to retire. But yes, you're absolutely right. The opportunities are endless out there. All right, so am I talking you out of it yet? Oh, I'm doing a horrible job. Okay. Hold on, let me think. Let me think here of how I can, yeah. You know those deadlines that are there? Yeah, it's all about them in the catalog. Or passing grades or anything like that. Yeah, that stays. So yay, those of you in the front, a couple of you read it. You're like, I'm down for it. I'm going to do it. The rest of you, please read it. And again, make sure that you're making a commitment to that. Now, the most difficult thing that I'm going to ask you to do and consider over these next 2 weeks, right? Because until 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on the 20th of January, it's a free pass. So what you must consider is this statement that is right there in front of you. I'm going to put it on a screen here. Oops. So this is our organization's values statement. We call it Evolvitude. What does it tell you? Evolvitude. What does it tell you?
Evolve?
Attitude of evolvement, right? Attitude of moving forward. Attitude of growing. Attitude of changing, of becoming better. That's what it's about. Attitudes of changing your mind as you learn. Everybody is with me with that? Now, what we're asking you to do is commit to this. And from here on out, or at least from 5:01 p.m. on the 20th of January, if you're deciding to stay, for this to become your guiding principles in your life. If you are not quite there yet, you all have it in front of you. I'm sure there's a slide there in cyberspace, but we're going to talk through this just a little bit. So it has 3 parts. Everybody sees the 3 parts? Yeah. Core values, that's the top. Aspirational values, and then ACT values. Let's start with the core. Why do you think we call them core values? It's the base, yeah, but why core? So yeah, that's good. It sets the foundation essentially. Why else? Yes. Should be, maybe. There's a grain of truth right there. You had something in the back.
What you are currently made out of, and then everything else is added to you.
Yeah, I have a news flash for you. And if you have never heard this, wow, welcome to the rest of your life. Inside, here, somewhere, each one of us is born kind. Each one of us is born forgiving. Each one of us is born loving. Each one of us is born that who human beings are at the core. And then, stuff happens. Parents happen first of all. And little by little by little, we as human beings get further and further and further away from that, who we truly are, from the true nature of our being. So the challenge for you as an individual human being, right? And this is great to show your children as well, by the way, because that's how they're going to learn or relearn, right? Is committing to that. Yes, the world is unfair. Yes, one party is in charge of the other. You have a choice, which is constant, which is always, and it's always true. You must choose to be kindness. You must choose, no matter what, to be love. You must choose to be trust, to be forgiveness. This thing with trust, oh, they're different from me. They talk different from me. They look different from me. Not to be trusted. It's a tough way to go through life. Tough way. Yeah, sometimes, you may be trusting and something happens and then, oops, guess what? Have to re-up it, to go at it again. The only way we're getting to anything better in the world, the only way we'll see better in our lifetime, or our children will see better in their lifetimes, is every single one of us choosing that. Choosing to forgive rather than to hold on to that weight of the opposite. Choosing courage, choosing kindness, choosing humility, gratitude, and not taking yourself too seriously. Life is a big cosmic joke. Yeah, ever noticed? Take it as such while going through life with all of that. Now, this is a hefty ask. And guess what? We cannot look at you and go like, oh, well, she's being unkind. It's for you to decide who you are and what you choose. What we see is that. It's the act values. And if you choose that, it directly translates into this, in how you actually show up, and how you actually behave with your peers, with your patients, with your clients, with your classmates, with your faculty. Growth mindset. What does that mean? And again, I'm not digging into the meaning of this because guess what? I know you know. I know for a fact you know. How do I know? You all look like human beings. You all are born with that. So here, though, requires some maybe explanation. Growth mindset, what is that?
To aspire for better, to be...
Yeah! Aspire for better. Want to learn constantly new things. Many of us as human beings will arrive into our very early 20s. Anybody in your early 20s here? Yeah, I see a few. I see a few like faces. And we're like, I know it all. I have arrived. Because that's how it feels. I was like that too. Oh my goodness, I'm like the greatest gift that planet Earth ever got. Look at me. Newsflash for those of you who haven't studied human physiology yet. Guess what? The prefrontal, cortex, the lobe things, the brain piece that is responsible for reasoning doesn't fully develop until you're in your mid to late 20s. It doesn't, so the part that reasons in your brain isn't done. So this assertion of I have arrived, and many of us just hold on to that feeling of I have arrived the whole of our lives, right? And it's like, I don't need to change my mind, I don't need to learn anything else. Those people are bad, these people are good. Judge. Yeah, so let go of this notion that you have arrived forever and ever and ever. Because, again, newsflash, and you have forgotten it, you have never, are never, ever arrived. There is always better you to be had. Every single moment of every single day. There are better choices, there's better you, there's more knowledgeable you, there's this, what you can become is limitless. Limitless. And yet most of us forget that. Most of us never even think about that I am limitless as an individual. What I can be, what I can learn. What light can I bring into the world? That's where that is. Growth mindset. There's another really important piece of growth mindset. What is it? Really important. What? Seeing things from different perspectives. Yeah, like exploring different perspectives. That's true. That's why general education is so great, right? What else, though? A very important piece without which growth mindset doesn't work.
The willingness to learn.
Willingness, yes, it's there. We've grasped it. Willingness to what?
Have an open mind.
To fail. It's willingness to not just fail. It's willingness to accept failure and then learn from that and do something with it and not throw your hands up in the air and go like, I'm no good. I have never been good. Anybody feels that way? You know, that voice in your head that constantly like, bad. Bad. Yeah? It's quieting that down and then saying, I can. Maybe not on the first attempt. Maybe it's going to be 3 or 4. But I can. How do you know? How do I know that I can? How do you know that you can?
We're here.
You're here. You have learned already a ton of stuff, right? You have already grown quite a bit. But it's the willingness to accept failure. Our educational system is broken because it doesn't accept failure, especially in nursing school, right? It's not. So here's the difference between failure and, which is temporary, and a permanent failure. The difference is what?
Keep trying.
Continuing to try and not just doing the same thing in the same way and expecting the same outcome, yeah? We're great as human beings at that. Like doing, but I tried. Well, I tried again. But I tried again, it's not working. Well, what do you have to change? How you do it, the approach, right? You just have to change the approach. And sometimes it is deferring laundry to your children and freeing up more time, right? Word of advice. today, or at least before 5 p.m. on January 20th, Mountain Standard Time, delete your social media accounts. Delete them. Of course, our social media folks will be like, no, 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 don't tell them, because they have to like and do da-da-da and whatever. With us, okay, if you're keeping it for one purpose and one purpose only, to like everything that is Nightingale College. Yes. All the food pictures we post. Stop scrolling. The endless scroll. It's a disease now. It's a syndrome where we're like addicted to scrolling, doing this. It's like this addiction to constant feed of information in our brains.
Well, we just have to direct it in a different way.
Yes! Books. Oh, you probably don't get physical books, but read that stuff on the screen. Watch the videos that are pertinent to your studying. Engage with your classmates in discussions. Practice your skills. Do stuff like that. Forget, again, if you think your friends, all 527 of them, are going to miss you, you're mistaken. They don't know who you are, frankly. Especially the ones from, Tesla, which is like next door. In their orientation. Sorry, Tesla. Or Coca-Cola, which is happiness, By the way, I'll tell you all about Coca-Cola and how it's like, it used to be happiness, now it's magic. In the one learning facilitation thing that I do with you, and that is in the very first semester of your, when you get to your nursing courses, per se, you're going to have this workshop that's called the Future of Nursing Workshop. You will prepare for it. We'll have some discussions around it of how, we'll discuss the, whether or not it's a fact that Coca-Cola is magic. And then, and other things that it does. It does magic on your guts, I can tell you that. Magically, things magically appear and start growing in there. The recipes, under lock and key. Anyway, so the Future of Nursing Workshop, we will talk about the state of healthcare in the United States and how we're doing in healthcare. Well, sure. Everything is horrible about it. Finance of it is horrible. The workforce development of it is horrible. All of it is all of it is really, really bad. Who has to change it?
Us. We do.
Us. Yeah. Us is a great word. I love the word we. And when we say we, guess what happens? No one does it. Yeah? I is a much better word. I am responsible for changing healthcare. If I want to see better around me, guess what I have to do? Be better in that same way. If I want to be people around me to be kinder, guess what? You have to be kinder. You have to learn how to do it. You have to grow. You may fail every once in a while. All of us are human, right? So yeah, but then you learn from it. You get up, you go and say, I apologize, and hopefully the other person goes like, oh yeah, I forgive. Yay, kumbaya, everybody holds hands. Sings together. But yes, it is yours individually to fix. I am doing my part. You see me doing the song and dance up here? Not quite the part, right? But building this educational institution was a part of it, of providing a solution into the system. And this system needs many solutions. And without the largest healthcare profession that exists, which is nursing, over 4 million, about 4.2 million are registered nurses, about getting to about 800,000 or so practical vocational nurses. You add everybody else in healthcare, or like CNAs, kind of assistants, stuff like that. We are at over 5 million people. That is about 1.5% of the US population. So you know 527 friends that you have? You really only need 98.5 to then really affect change. With that, that's all you're going to be responsible. 98.5 people. I just have to change minds and hearts and all of that of 98.5 people. And in order to do that, though, you have to know your stuff. So that becomes really important. Growth mindset is incredibly important. And let me give you kind of a piece of statistic. And like again, some of you are like, oh, statistics. That's on my schedule. Between 20 and 25% of you, everybody who's here and everybody who's dialed in, will not graduate. Between 20 and 25%. Why does that happen? Yeah. People are like, I'm a failure. That's who I am. People define themselves with all sorts of labels, which that is one of them, rather than keep telling yourself and defining yourself as I am a success. I am growth mindset. I can do it, no matter how difficult it is. I just have to change the approach. I just have to find different resources or ask for them. Guess what? We have it all. We have the resources lined up for you like you would not believe. The resources don't mean change the policy for me. Yeah, everybody good? That's not a resource. We have other things. We have the, by the way, that essay of the future vision of yourself. You're sending to one of your resources, which are our learner support service counselors. Did I get it right, Amanda? Okay, yeah, Amanda's one of them. Wave, Amanda, there you go. Amanda is here in Northern California somewhere, or Sacramento, right? Somewhere. Vacaville, yeah, so around. And so she's one of the professionals that we have in that function that can assist you with finding those resources, whether they're within the college or whether they're outside of some community resources that may be available to you. Use your resources, all of that. Now, but you have to make a commitment to it now, before 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on January 20th. Everybody is with me? Make a commitment to it now. I will not allow myself to permanently fail, because I will change my approach, because I will utilize my resources, because I will do all of that stuff, and I am committing to my learning. Why do we call you learners? Yeah, that's your number one job, is to learn. Student? I don't know what that is. Actually, I do. You know, it's like that 18-year-old, and if any of you are 18, you know, more power to you, because you've chosen probably something better. But, you know, I was like, my entire life now, I'm like 18. I've been dreaming about moving away from my parents' house and going to college. Yay. I finally get in somewhere. I moved across the country. I live in a dorm. Life is beautiful. I drink a lot of beer. Go to a lot of parties. Yay, every once in a while I show up at a lecture. And about 6 years from now, I get that paper, and then I move back with my parents. That's a student, yeah. Learner is something very different from that. Your commitment is to learn. Nothing else. And that commitment is for you, for your family, for your vision, future vision of yourself. So you send that essay to your learner support services counselor. And I am sure through the admissions process you've been introduced to yours. If you haven't, please reach out to your admissions advisor, and they will point you in the right direction of the counselor that is assigned to you. So so send that essay to them. We will collect them, we will hold on to them, and we will use them against you. Yes. Like, is that still true? Still want to be a model for your children? Or is that's it? Did you sell them? You probably raised some dough if you did. All right. So please do that again. You know the deadline for sending that. And another thing that we would like you to do is to print it out and, like, you know, actual paper with the actual words on there, and tape it into very important places. One is your fridge door. Every time you open, it's there. Want to guess what the other one is? Right opposite your toilet. You know, every time you sit down, some of the population more than others, you will see it right there. And it'll be a constant reminder that that is not negotiable, the growth mindset. If you want what you wrote on that paper, this becomes non-negotiable. And you have to learn how to do it, how to navigate the entire educational process, how to learn, how to utilize your resources. We are here only to facilitate that learning of yours. Facilitate. Everybody understands? Like, if I was Oprah, look, it's like, you get it right away, and you get it. Everybody just gets it, right? It's like, like that magic wand, I'll be handing it out. You got a diploma, and you got a diploma. Everybody gets a diploma. I'm not Oprah, so I don't have those magic powers. So it's all yours to do. And we're here to help facilitate that. We're here to facilitate your learning journey. We are not here to teach you. That is for children, yeah? Pedagogy, teaching. We're here to facilitate your learning, which is an approach to adults, yeah? You have to, well, I'm teaching myself. Wow. Interesting. How many times have you done this to date? Pulled something on YouTube? Oh, I can be a mechanic. Yeah? Yeah. YouTube just facilitated your learning. Yay! Okay. Transparency, very important here, very important in nursing. What does that mean? Yeah, it expands beyond just honesty, right? It's being transparent about it. Many things we don't want to talk about as human beings, yeah? We don't want to talk about our failures. We don't want to acknowledge certain things. We don't want to do that. But you have to. You must become transparent with yourself first, and then again, seek the resources and be transparent with those resources that potentially can offer you a path forward and facilitation, like specific to you. But without hearing from you, I mean, we cannot do it. We don't know. You all look lovely. That's as much as I know today. Those of you who will be at graduation, I'm sure you will look lovely there, with one huge difference. You'll be a new person. Yeah. Probably look a couple of years older, but, you know. Please no. Yes. There are good creams for that. Yeah. So that, responsibility. Learning is your responsibility. Complying with policies is your responsibility. Rearranging your schedules is your responsibility to accommodate your learning. Yeah? Talking to your employer. Who hasn't, those of you who work, who hasn't talked to your employer yet about potentially very kind of like major swings in your schedule at work? Okay, everybody done that, yeah, because that's part of our, what is it, commit? Discover, commit. Yeah, commit. That's part of the commit stage. Yeah, so all of you, I'm assuming. In-laws, did you talk to your in-laws or your parents or somebody who can be there to, you know, if your child is too young to do laundry, to be able to support you? That's needed, all of that, but again, responsibility is yours. The success in this endeavor, the success of getting to that next version of you, the success in getting to that next license of yours is your responsibility. It is not mine. It's like, well, we're paying you money. It's expensive. Yes, it is. Education is expensive. Facilitating education is expensive. We don't get subsidies like public schools do and do a horrible job with it. Many of them. So, becomes your responsibility. We have it available. It's there for you. We will be happy to engage with you, right? Again, not going to change a policy for you, not going to change a grade for you, but we'll engage with you in different ways to support, to facilitate your success if you want to do it, if you're ready to do it. So, show of hands, who wants to be part of the 20 to 25% statistic? Oh, wow. Surprise! Committing to this, actually making the commitment. Like not just, you know, well, I'll try it. You can try it for whatever, 12 days. But that's trying is not a commitment. Remember Yoda? Try not, do or don't, do not, there's no try. You commit to doing, to being this, to, and that, again, that's a tall order ask of all of you. But without that, you're not going to be successful. You will become a part of the statistic, you will waste your time, you will waste your energy, you will waste your hopes, you will waste your money. Anybody independently wealthy? Raise your hand. See, I can now. We came to the United States 30 years ago with less than $4,000 for a family of 4. That's what we had as refugees. I can raise my hand now and say I am independently wealthy. I come from former Soviet Union. Don't be frightened. Or maybe you should be. I don't know. From Belarus, which has been in the news lately, part of the Ukraine conflict. And anyway, so my heart is breaking for things that are going on very close to home, or old home. But nevertheless, what I'm trying to say is that none of you in this room are independently wealthy. None of you. Otherwise, you would not be sitting here, I can promise you, unless the passion was so high. And it's like, I need to get one of the hardest jobs in the world because there's nothing else that I can, like, it's just like, without doing it, it just makes no sense. And if you're that, somewhere there in cyberspace, maybe there's 1 or 2, yay, more power to you, congratulations, yay. Everybody else, you're borrowing money, yeah, from the federal government who will never forgive it. Ever. Federal student debt never will be forgiven. You can go through all bankruptcies you want. It is always will be with you and will always follow you. They will garnish your wages, the little that you make, if you're not successful at this, and it will never go away. So when I'm asking you for that commitment, again, I'll be okay if you don't make it. You won't. So make that decision very, very responsibly, carefully, deliberately, with a commitment right here. And not the kind of commitment, well, I'll try this marriage for, see if it works. And then, oh, it's tough. I'm out. Not that type. But we're like, for better, for worse, I'm sticking with it. We're going to figure it out. Yeah? Those of you with those relationships, congratulations. We're going to figure it out. We're going to treat each other with kindness and forgiveness and trust and gratitude and all of that stuff. This is the kind of relationship we're talking about. For you. It's between you and you. It's quieting down that voice in your head that says you can't and telling it, yes, I can. I might not know how. And what you do in that case, if you don't know how to succeed at any point in time, you engage with your resources. Yes, you engage with counselors, you engage with faculty. They're there for you. You show up at live webinars, synchronous webinars, where you can ask questions and engage and get more explanation, or maybe different. You engage with each other. Because some of you may have an approach or figured something out to understanding something that somebody else may not, right? And vice versa, the entire time. So this is a resource as well for all of you, yourselves. This cohort of learners. Wouldn't it be awesome? 99.95, just giving some margin of error there, percent of you actually were at graduation. Maybe not all at the same time, right? Because it may take different periods of time for all of you. But wouldn't it be great not to have that 20 to 25% permanent failure with all of the consequence of it? Responsibility. Nursing requires a lot of responsibility. Showing up and then doing your absolutely best. While being responsible for, we talked about that, doing yourself, right? Self-care, as in you must sleep. No, not sometimes. 7 to 9 hours a night. That's for an average adult. Most of us are average. So yeah, 7 to 9 hours. 4 hours is not enough, despite what number 45 said. Not enough. Your brain cannot function at its most effective way if you don't have enough sleep or proper nutrition. Yeah? Some other things that we as human beings need in order to be able to do anything else effectively. So again, figure that out if you haven't yet. How are you going to do it? A, delete social media. Yeah, B, whatever else. Figure out who does your laundry, who makes your sandwiches, who's going to push you when you're like, I can't. It's only 2 semesters and I'm dying. There has to be somebody else out there that says, nuh-uh, cracking up the whip, you're going. If you need us to do that, let your LSS counselor know. They will gladly do it. They can do either pom-poms or the whip, or a combination of both. Works really, really good. Okay, finally, building community. How do you feel about living in the world we live in? Is it a community of people? Nope. Nope. We're in our tribes. We're disconnected from each other. We look at everybody else as the other. All of that. Now, unless you're willing to make a commitment to building community. And from nurses, this is a requirement. You cannot show up and look at somebody and go like, no care for you, because you don't share my political views, or because of whatever else, the way you look, the way you talk, who you are. I reserve my care for good people. As in people like me, who are wonderful. Tough. Tough to be able to become actually kind and accepting of others, and understand that their human journey is no different from yours. It's illustrated by different events. What we feel is absolutely the same. Our joy is the same. Our pain is the same. That golden rule that is talked about, the vast majority of the world actually practices some kind of spiritual, philosophical, religious practice. And every one of them talks about it. Put yourself in their shoes. Understand, feel what they feel. Because inevitably in your life you have felt it. You have felt their pain. You have felt their joy. And then do accordingly to them, unto them. Easy to ask, very difficult to commit to that, and even more difficult to execute. So what I'm asking is, unless you're able to make responsibly a real commitment to you becoming evolvitude, being this, I'm not even touching this middle portion, because that's a seminar of a different kind in a different place. The only thing that I'll tell you about self-governance is that you are the only one who's responsible for you. Your behavior, nobody caused it. Nobody caused it. It's yours. Your choices, nobody made you. They're yours. There's nobody else. You know how you look around, all around you, all the time, and you're in the center of it all? Because you are. Because you are the center of the universe. And if the center is not, as great as it should be or could be, the universe is not going to be. Well, it's because of her. Oh, that faculty is mean. That grade is just, I deserve better. They just don't understand. They understood exactly. A lot of evaluation that we do is actually blinded. They have no idea who you are. No idea. And different evaluators do different pieces of it. So we've, addressed that maybe inherent bias that we all may have. However, no one, I didn't do this because that. If only they would be better and kinder and there already, I will sure follow. It hasn't worked for us. That approach, that mentality that we as human beings have carried for 100,000 years has not worked for us. So what I'm asking you to commit to is better you, better humanity through you, better health through you, for a better world. It's futile otherwise. Might as well forget the Prada shoes. Did I talk you out of it? No? Oh, gosh. What else do I have to do? I'm for real. And in that essay of yours, I would like all of you to close it in absolutely the same way. I commit to choosing. List the words. I commit to acting with growth mindset and so on. List the words. And for the middle, I commit to realizing that nobody else can make me something that I don't want to be, that I don't choose to be. Nobody else can make me angry. Nobody else can make me, and again, I'm like paraphrasing here, you can just use those words. The choice of being angry is mine. The choice of being fearful versus loving is mine. The choice of being unkind versus kind is mine. Nobody else's. 5,000 years of written philosophy, written. Many more years of just philosophy that point us firmly in the same direction. And yet, we all say we subscribe, and very few actually execute. What is going to be your story? How will your narrative change? How will the limiting beliefs that you have change in these next few years? In addition to learning all of the wonderful stuff that nurses do, putting the pieces of the puzzle together. Nursing school for me was one of the most incredible journeys. It's little by little you fill in the puzzle, right? So you look for that piece, you find it, and you find the right spot for it. Think 1,000, it's probably, it's many more pieces than just 1,000-piece, jigsaw puzzle. Everybody has seen that. It's kind of like that. It may not all come together until your integrative practicums, right, where you finally start synthesizing all of it. And that's just the knowledge side and the skill side. When is it going to come together for you as a human? That's the question. And trust me, when your children see that and see that diploma in your hands, you will be bawling, they'll be bawling, I will be just crying and ruining my good cream. That's how awesome it is going to be. The choice is always yours, though. But again, make it now. Don't waste your time, money on all of that if you cannot make it now. And it's okay. It is okay not to be able to make it now. It may not be the right time. You may not be ready for it. It's okay. Come back later. Come back again. But make sure when you actually do, you're here to the end. And you're here for better you. And you're here for a professional, more professional you. You're here for a better human being you. You're here for a model, role model you. You're here for that. And there is no getting out of it at that point. There is no giving yourself a pass, right? Although every once in a while, just, take a bath or something. Relax. Listen to some music every once in a while. It's fine. Take care of you. You will be learning that self-care piece that I'm talking about. You will be learning wellness is multidimensional, and you'll be learning all that as part of your program and curriculum design. And then when you go out there and practice with your clients, with your patients, you'll use that knowledge as well. You can be a role model for them as well, right? Do as I am, not as I say. This can be amazing, or it can be not. Which one will you choose? Amazing, and some people are mouthing, amazing. I'm choosing amazing me. Yes, I hope you do, but if you can't, remember to send that email by 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Friday, January the 20th. Now, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for making a responsible choice of whether or not to stick around beyond that date. I'm thrilled you're trying, but try not. Thank you. So we have just a few minutes. I'll ask Dr. Olson to come back and see if he has any parting words of wisdom that I may not have gotten to. And then we'll ask for some few questions if you guys have them, and then we'll let everybody go. So, Dr. Olson.
Sorry, this is complicated. All right, I got it. Technology. We're all going to work on it together, right? All right. I just wanted to say real fast, you've chosen to start a journey. It's an incredible journey. It's a hard journey. It's not going to be a smooth journey. They never are. But the best journeys are the ones you continue to go through and continue to work on. Nobody wants to watch a 3-ring Lord of the Rings series where Frodo gives up after the first hiccup. We just watch him in the Shire for 3 more videos. It's a painful journey, right? It's going to be hard. You're going to go through hard things. You're going to find hiccups. You're going to find reasons that you want to turn around. That's going to be consistent. The real thing that will make the difference as to whether this journey is meaningful for you is whether you decide to persevere. How you end the journey begins on how you start the journey. Your decision now will determine your outcome. So make the choice, as Mikhail has said many times, by Friday at 5 p.m., to make that decision and commit to it. There are so many amazing things in your future that you can't perceive yet, but they're there, they're waiting, and it depends on the decision you make today. Consistent with our statement, I choose to love this community. I choose to love all of you. Whether you choose to love me or not is a choice you get to make as well. But I choose, and I choose to work with you in building this community, in building nursing education, and building healthcare education for this country. I've made that choice, and I hope you'll join me in that journey as you make the choice now in starting your journey as well. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for making the adjustments to your life and schedule to be here. There will be many more to make. I thank you for making those adjustments as well so that you can be successful on this journey that will be challenging, but will be so worth it for you in the end. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
All right, y'all. So if there are any questions? We have about 5 minutes that we can. Yes, please.
Just a statement.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I really appreciate your guys' admission process. It was smooth. The advisors were so kind. Things were just efficient. You guys made it so easy. I really appreciate it.
That's good. Good to hear. Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll pass it on. I'm sure your admissions advisors are there in cyberspace, like, you know, trying to pick you out of the crowd. Thank you. Other comments, questions? Anything that, yes?
What number graduating class will we be?
Oh gosh. Ooh, that's a good question. How about this? I'll ask somebody to figure it out. It's well, we've been around, you know, for over 11 years, so it's many. Yeah, but it's more than 30. Yeah, because it's, you know, three admission cycles and 3 graduation cycles in every year. So yeah, 30 something. Let's keep it at that. Other questions, comments, wishes? Yes.
Graduation would be held at for everybody.
Okay, so I'll let Dr. Olson talk about there's 2 different things.
There are 2 different things. One is a commencement. Every semester we do hold a commencement. It is virtual. So there's a virtual commencement that happens, and then once a year we have a ceremony, which is a graduation celebration, where if you choose to walk and you want to have that experience across the stage, where you can come into Salt Lake City, and we have that experience in Salt Lake City. We hold it near where the camp, or where the Central Operations Support Center is, but it is a chance to have that moment across the stage. Partly because we are nationwide, finding locations that are appropriate, it becomes quite cumbersome. But we do want to make sure that by the time you are able to go through your commencement ceremony, you can have that as soon to the time that you've completed your coursework as possible, which is why we do the virtual, and then have the once-a-year graduation walking ceremony. So again, there's more in the catalog, if you read through that, about when we hold that. Typically, the once-a-year will happen in August, so we can plan around that. But again, you will have your virtual commencement ceremonies at the end of every semester.
Yeah, as soon as you graduate, and that's you know, don't discount that, having your family and friends together and kind of watching the broadcast and having your name read and having your regalia on. It's pretty cool. But yeah, the hundreds and hundreds of grads with their families and so on in one huge space in Salt Lake. It's something as well, and kind of surprise speakers and things like that. So, other questions, comments, wishes?
Yes, in 2.5 years graduating.
Yes, that's exactly what we want to hear. Absolutely, it would be awesome. Well, then, if there's nothing else, we're going to close with this. This is our internal, external, all of that motto. It refers to the light of the Florence Nightingale's lamp, and it refers to the light and the flame that it ignites of education, and it refers to the light and the flame that we are as human beings. So, flame forward. And you can answer anytime you hear that. Anybody says that. As soon as you second that, the meeting is adjourned. So flame forward. There you go. You're free to go. Thank you so much.
Oh, you got